What's up, you guys? Sean Ross Sapp, welcome to Fightful. Here for a special live interview. We've got a name, a guy that's been featured here on Fightful a number of times. You've seen him a little bit of everywhere. You've seen him in MLW. You've heard about his WWE tryout. You've seen him in AEW as well. But you're going to see him on Sunday, August 3rd at 2 p.m. Eastern as Richard Holliday presents Narcissistic Behavior in Hamden, Connecticut. After that show, there's going to be a meet and greet with a lot of really great talent that are on this show. After that, a SummerSlam watch party as well. But by God, we've got him and this glorious mustache here. Richard, how you doing?
I'm doing fantastic. Each and every day, it just gets a little bit better in my life.
I mean, listen, our last interview was in North Carolina where I provided an eyewitness account of the impact of the mustache.
Yeah, I mean, there was a few young ladies who must have passed by and saw the mustache and were just couldn't get enough of it, to be honest with you. Not many people can.
Saw it with my own eyes, experienced it with my own eyes. I was like, I could introduce you if you'd like. And then all of a sudden she got very, very shy.
It happens all the time. I'm used to it.
I'll tell you what doesn't happen all the time. You running your own show, but by God, you are. And it's got some heavy hitters on it. Now, we mentioned this narcissistic behavior, which is a celebration of yourself. I see. Please explain the thought process besides just narcissistic behavior.
All right. So I've always wanted to run my own show, but that's like 5% of the reason that I'm running this. The other 95% is because, man, it is time to just celebrate me. We are coming up on my 10-year anniversary in the business of professional wrestling, and I couldn't think of anything better than to throw my own party. Because, Sean, I've said it before, I want my flowers. Give me my flowers. Who
Yes.
better to give me my flowers than myself? So on the 3rd of August, I am running my own event, Narcissistic Behavior, because I am a massive narcissist, and only I would be narcissistic enough to throw my own bash, to throw my own party. And make no mistake about it, Sean, this is the hottest ticket of the summer. This is the biggest show in town. This is the biggest show in any town on any day, specifically on August 3rd.
Speaking of, I had mentioned there's going to be a meet and greet after the show. There's going to be a SummerSlam watch party as well. But one of the things that you've mentioned that is a nice drawing point is that the first 2 rows get a signed event poster with all the stars, and there are some stars on this show, including yourself. There's EC3, who I know very well. There's Hammerstone, who we both know very well. There's Deonna Purrazzo as well. So we've got talent that has, Deonna is in AEW ROH. You've got EC3, who is in NWA right now. Hammerstone just finished up his TNA run. You've got people from all over the place working this event.
All over. Yeah. And listen, I'm not going to throw a party. I'm not going to put on an event and put my name on something if it's not going to be great. Right. Like, I'm not going to spare any expense. I'm pulling out all the stops. Like, this is a big deal. I'm letting people know right up front. Like, yes, this is a celebration of me. And you should come. I could have announced no talent, to be honest with you. You should have just showed up and said, yeah, it's about time we celebrate you. But I'm a man of the people and I'm a businessman and I know what I'm doing, right? So I have announced Deonna Purrazzo. She was my first announcement, actually, very strategically, of course, because to me, she's one of the best professional wrestlers in the world. And I have her on my show. Right. We could both agree upon that. And I think everybody who saw the announcement can agree upon that. So right then and there, I wanted to evaporate any sort of satirical thoughts, right? Like, I didn't want anybody to think like, this show is just satire. No, this show's the real deal. So I'm going to kick off the announcements with Deonna Purrazzo. Then how do I follow that up? I bring in Hammerstone, somebody that obviously is well documented, the history between him and I. But again, in his own right, remove the history between me and him. He's one of the best as well.
So I'm interested in how that process goes because you've had some very choice things to say about Alex Hammerstone in previous interviews that we've done. Some of which have been compared to D12 songs. How does that process go? Because although you all have had your differences, your careers have paralleled even since. Like both of you left MLW, you're betting on yourselves, doing your own things. Obviously, you two are going to be tied together in some capacity throughout the duration of your careers because of those parallels.
Yeah, we certainly will. And again, we have a very documented history. We've made some very memorable moments in pro wrestling. In and out of MLW is some stuff we've done in GCW as well. So it's carried over, right? Um,
Mhm.
but again, I'm a businessman. I can put the past in the past. The past doesn't exist to me, right? I'm only focused on today and the future. And I had to have him on the show. I know that he's going to help business. And then after Hammerstone, I said, well, you know, I need somebody who's almost as narcissistic as me, almost as self-indulgent as me. Can you think of anybody else other than EC3 who fits that bill? I couldn't.
I mean, listen, when I saw EC3 was announced for this show, I go, well, that's fitting. I love EC3. He's a buddy of mine. But I go, for the theme of this show, I think he could honestly appreciate someone throwing their own bash. I think he probably saw that and said, great idea.
It's like one of those adages of like, hey, game knows game, real knows real, whatever people say. I think narcissists know narcissists.
Yeah. Yeah. Who are some other narcissists in wrestling? I'm sure this won't get taken out of context whatsoever, but that's what I'm here for.
Well, we have the original narcissist, Lex
Yes,
Luger,
of course, Lex Luger. Great
right?
one.
Homage to
Well,
Lex Luger.
of
So
which they
I,
attempted to call Narcissus at one point.
he was Narcissus. It's a different pronunciation. I believe the same spelling. But listen, I hope that Lex Luger can see this and say, hey, I respect this narcissist doing such a narcissistic thing. Other than myself and EC3, I'm sure there's other people who are, very into themselves and very full of themselves, but I don't know if they're quite on that narcissistic level of doing what I'm doing at this point.
Interesting. So you got a lot of interesting stuff that you've been participating in of late. This Matt Cardona video, and honestly, you punching him in the wiener. Um, all things that have gotten a lot of attention. Like you went straight to the source. You did. I gotta say, as a reporter, you did some excellent reporting. You went out there. You spoke to the people,
Right to the
and none
people.
of them knew nor liked Matt Cardona. Why do you think that is?
Well, I think, you know, I had to go there. I had to see for myself what the Long Island IC meant to the people of Long Island.
Yeah,
Now, I was going there expecting them to say, like, Matt Cardona's my hero. I look up to Matt Cardona so much. He's such an inspiration to me.
sure.
If he can make it out of Long Island, then I can make it out of Long Island. And that just wasn't the case. Like everything was very genuine. Like I went into that pizza shop and I offered them a signed picture of Matt Cardona to hang on their wall of fame. And they just said no. Then I offered them Chelsea Green and they were like, yeah, let's put that up.
Of
And
course. Yeah, sure. She's great.
like, of course, like I respect that. Like that's cool. Then I went to the coffee shop, the local coffee shop. I was like, "Would you be nervous to serve Matt Cardona coffee?" And she was like, "No." And I'm like, "Man, what kind of impact has he had on this place?" So in that instance, I knew that he wasn't the indie god; he was the indie fraud. You can't even win over your own people.
How do you think that his view of you has changed since then and since you all locked up?
I think he knows that I'm the real deal. I think he knows that the 15 years of experience in the WWE doesn't really matter when you get into the ring with me. It's different. I say you're breathing rarefied air for a reason. That's not a gimmick. That's not just a catchphrase. It's an excellent catchphrase, yes, but it's not just a catchphrase. It's the real deal. When you get in the ring with Richard Holliday, you're going to learn that this is not just, some ordinary wrestling match that you're going to have. And he learned very quickly that my signature move, I can strike at any time. He was prepared for one. He had the always ready cup.
Yes, he did.
Yeah. But listen, Sean, lightning never strikes in the same place twice, but I do.
I was gonna say, I don't want to know where else that lightning might be striking. Personally,
I can strike whenever, wherever. He should have known I'd be going for a second.
Oh no. Let's avoid some areas at least, please. You mentioned you asking people to give you your flowers. I gotta admit, I get a very nice kick out of how angry people on Instagram who are become familiar with you because you are asking for your flowers.
Sure.
And I even replied to one person. They said, "What kind of a man asks for someone to give him flowers?" And I said, "Well, if you gave him his flowers, he wouldn't need to, would he?"
Wouldn't ask.
So, listen, I can't say I always agree with you, but I think in that situation, I think some people make some asses out of themselves, Richard. You don't make them be rude. They could simply say, "No, I will not give you your flowers," and move on. But the reaction of which you have gotten is somewhat vitriolic.
Listen, if I've learned anything, is that Instagram, really in specific, is a cesspool for people with no lives, no aspirations, and nothing going on for themselves of any substance to just see something and get so upset that type something up. 99 point, you know what? I'm not even going to do that. 100% of these people would not say these things to me in person. They wouldn't. They wouldn't do it. Not because I'm just so intimidating, but because they would not have the temerity to do so. Not going to do it. But they live behind the keyboard, or not even the keyboard. They live behind the phone, and they can just, use their little Cheeto thumbs and say whatever they want to say. And that's fine. I don't really care. You could say whatever you want. Because by you getting so mad at what I'm saying, if so facto, you're kind of giving me my flowers just by doing that.
I would have to agree. I would have to agree. When I asked you about a few different places where you've done some work presently
Sure.
in the past, all that, you had a couple of appearances in AEW. I always honestly hear great things about you whenever you're there. How were those experiences for you specifically? This most recent one in December.
It was great. I have a lot of respect for AEW. I think they're a great company. They do some really good things. They have some amazing talent. And the last time I was there was actually in Washington D.C. I got in the ring with Serpentico, and we had a great match. It was awesome. So the experience at AEW is, for me, nothing but good things.
I asked Hammerstone this, and I'll ask you the same thing. Naturally, when MJF is involved with any other trio of human beings, people go, Holiday and Hammerstone, when are they coming in? Is that flattering, frustrating, whatever that may be to you? Because when people are saying, "Oh, well, I know two guys that could match up with Shelton Benjamin and Bobby Lashley, and it's Richard Holliday and Alex Hammerstone," I've always viewed that as, well, first off, yeah, they could. That would be a great couple of people to bring in. But also, those are two of the most consistent names of pro wrestling in the last 20 years. How does that make you feel when people bring that up, even though it doesn't seem like a thing that is happening as of yet?
Listen, anytime my name is brought up, I'm flattered. So I don't care what they speculate, what they want. They're bringing up my name. That's great. I'm doing my job. In terms of the speculation at hand, I don't really care. I'm so focused on what I do and where I'm at. Wherever I'm at is the most important place in the world to me. That's my mindset. That's how I've always been, and I will remain that way. So, online, speculate whatever you want. Totally fine. I'm flattered. Thank you. But pay attention to what I'm doing currently. That's more important to me.
Speaking of currently, again, Sunday, August 3rd, 2 p.m., you are celebrating yourself with Narcissistic Behavior. Would you argue that making your own coffee brand is narcissistic behavior?
Sure. Of course it is.
I've
already done it.
watched you make a sale, by the way. I've watched it in person.
Yeah. I mean, and they actually DM'd me a couple of days later and said, this is the best coffee I've ever had in my entire life. And they ordered another bag.
There's also, of course, GCW, of which you've had a pretty tumultuous relationship with that company.
Sure.
I feel like you've brought a lot of things to GCW that weren't there before, and a lot of speculation. I don't know about speculation on your future. You're implying that you'll never go back there, but what are your feelings about GCW now after it's been almost 2 years that you've been wrestling there?
I have a lot of feelings about GCW, to be honest with you, and they might surprise people. Um, I'd like to start with Brett Lauderdale.
Okay.
First and foremost. I have a lot of respect for Brett Lauderdale. I like Brett Lauderdale. Um, he has put me in amazing positions within that company. So really, my decision for leaving has nothing to do with Brett Lauderdale. My decision for leaving that company has to do with the fans. I don't like them. They're legitimately piss poor people. Every time I grab a microphone, and Sean, whenever I have a microphone in my hand, it's pretty electric, and I'm probably going to
Yeah.
say something really good. But I can't even get the microphone up without them starting to chant STFU. That's the abbreviated version. But they're
Been
chanting,
there with that crowd. They're not nice people.
they're terrible people. They're
Yeah.
awful. All they want is blood and guts and glass and in light tubes. I'm not giving them that. I got to be honest with you, Sean. I'm not willing to risk what those
Yeah.
risks. And listen, all the respect in the world for what they do. That's what they do. I don't do that personally. I'm not willing to do that for these fans, for anybody.
Yeah.
I'm not doing that. So if you can't respect that, that's not my style, and I bring something a little bit different, well, then screw you. That's it. I'm not coming back. I'm one of the most sought after talents in independent wrestling right now. I don't have to go to GCW. It's a treat when I show up for these people. And the treat no more. The treat is done. I'm done. My next match in GCW is my last one. Win, lose, or draw. I really should just say win because I'm not losing or
Yeah.
drawing
True.
for freaking Pero. Nobody wants a singles run out of Pero. Okay, nobody. He's an understudy. He's a background guy. He's a I can't even say that he's my heavy because I mean, to be honest with you, I might be bigger than him. So he's all done. Screw Pero.
We saw you last year make a brief return to MLW, where of course you helped rebuild that company as they came back. What are your thoughts about MLW and your brief run that you worked there again?
The second, I mean, I was with them for like 5 years, and I had a lot of really great memories there. The second run for me was forgettable, to be honest with you. So, um, it happened. I'm glad it happened, but I really don't have many upfront thoughts, about the company right now. Again, too focused on what I'm doing, too focused on what I have at hand. I'm booked all over the place. Probably one of the most sought after and book talents on the independents, like I mentioned before. So, too worried about what I got going on. I'm running my own damn show. That's what's major, you know. So that's really all I have to say about that.
What can fans look forward to Sunday, August 3rd from Hamden, Connecticut? Narcissistic Behavior. Can you tell us like literally everything, literally everybody you're gonna book or
I
throw me a
can't
bone?
I can't tell you everything, but what I can do for you, my friend, is I can give you an exclusive. I can make a talent announcement right here.
I would like that a lot. That would be very nice.
I can give you some breaking news.
Okay.
Narcissistic Behavior, August 3rd. Not only will this be a 10-year celebration of me, not only will we have Deonna Purrazzo,
Okay.
Hammerstone,
Uh-huh.
EC3,
Yeah.
we will also be having the TNA International Champion, Steve Macklin.
Ooh, I love it. He's one of my favorites. Listen, I love him. He's a great addition to any show, but I got to say, a very nice guy, not a narcissist at all.
We'll see how narcissistic he can get on this day.
I like it.
Can he dig deep into his deep-rooted levels of narcissism that everybody has? I refuse to believe that nobody doesn't have a little narcissist in them. Can Steve Macklin pull out his inner narcissist?
It's a very selfless man, fought for our country even. Like, I got to say, like, I feel like he might be there to prove some points.
All due respect. Yeah. I mean, listen, I love Steve Macklin. I wouldn't have him on my show if I didn't.
Sure. Who doesn't, right? Like, he's wonderful. Wow. I love that. So EC3, Hammerstone, Deonna Purrazzo, Steve Macklin, Richard Holliday. Like, listen, like all these people have been to the top of any number of respective companies that they have participated in. That is a loaded show on SummerSlam weekend. Again, meet and greets available. Also, the watch party there as well. You got a lot of stuff going on that day, Richard Holliday.
Did I or did I not tell you that this show was going to be the hottest ticket of the summer?
I love it. I love
And
it.
it's only going to get better. Trust me, it's only going to get better.
Guys, you all can find a link to get tickets in the description when we upload this. Limited front row remain right now. But Richard Holliday, anything else you want the people to know before we go?
Yeah, I want to say front row is very limited at this point. There's still some second row available, and then obviously there's general admission. With first and second row, you do get a signed poster, which is no doubt about it a commemorative piece because there's not going to be any more of these posters. So I would, if you want first or second row, I would get them now. And then, yes, afterwards, you will be able to, and probably before as well, but you will be able to meet the stars of Narcissistic Behavior. And then, if you want, you can stick around. There will be a watch party for SummerSlam for people who don't want to, travel back and miss anything, or if they just want to hang out with me. How much more of a reason do you need? But
listen,
that'll all
I've
be
been at
happening.
your merch tables when we've done interviews, and people have just kind of accumulated around there trying to hang out with you.
Yeah. And I tell them, listen, you got to buy something. You can't just hang out with me.
Listen,
But if
I
you
know
buy a
that seems
ticket
like
to
a
this
very
show,
narcissistic thing to say, but I have witnessed it with my own eyes. Like
sure,
I'd be happy to deny it if it weren't true, but it is true.
sure, absolutely. Yeah, I'm not denying it.
Richard Holliday, I want to thank you so much. I want to encourage everybody, check out Narcissistic Behavior, Sunday, August 3rd from Hamden, Connecticut. It is an afternoon show, so you can get plenty of other stuff done throughout that day. Going to be well worth the trip there. Richard, I want to thank you so much for always taking the time to speak with us.
Of course. Thank you for having me. Much appreciated.
Until next time, my friends, we are out.